So imagine, you know this in your own life, eh? You move towards a new destination, and that requires a kind of growth. So you might ask, well, what does that growth consist of? And in the Abrahamic story, it consists of sacrifice. So every time Abraham makes a transformation in identity, he makes a sacrifice. Well, that is what happens when you make a transformation of identity, because as you grow and mature, you have to shed those traits, people, even situations, material possessions, geographic locale, whatever. You have to shed all of that if it's interfering with your progress forward. And so what you see in Abraham's life is a series of adventures, each of which are marked by a sacrifice that move him upward towards a higher and higher and more integrated form of being, right? He's the redeemer of cities at one point. And there's nothing in that that doesn't seem accurate to me psychologically. And it's an exciting thing to understand, because the Abrahamic story is the template for individual development. That's a good way of thinking. But Abraham is the first real individual in the Western canon. And the story's it's very psychologically astute. Once you understand the basic reference, once you understand, for example, that sacrifice, at least in part, means dispensing with something you once valued, but has now, say, become an impediment. And so that's a little bit more of a description of the domains of thought that I've been wandering in.
No, I deeply appreciate the way you're analyzing and observing a religious text that can often be seen as a story, a lesson, a message, and actually looking at it as closely linked to human development. And part of my training, I did something similar with the Bhagavad Gita, which is the text of the East. And it's similar. There's a conversation between the divine Krishna or God with Arjun, who's an archer who has lost all self-belief and self-esteem because he's having to fight his family.
He's an archer.
Yes, he's an archer.
Sin means to miss the target.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's an archery term.
Yeah.
And that notion of sin has that archery connection in multiple different languages. And so it's the same theme that you're describing. And the reason for that is an archer hits the target, right? So to hit the target accurately is to pursue the divine most appropriately. So there's a metaphysics of archery. So that's definitely that's a good example of how that's right. There's no mistake in that, right? There's no mistake in that. You want to hit the target dead center.
Absolutely.
Right, yeah.
And in the beginning of the text, his bow is slipping from his hands because he's feeling sweaty, he's feeling nervous, he's feeling anxiety,
right.
And therefore he turns to God for instruction and guidance.
Okay, so